Hey guys, my name is Ericode, and in today's video I'll be showing you how you can create a movement system inside of Roblox Studio. This is what the movement system looks like. As you can see, I can walk normally, I can run, I can also slide, and I can also crouch. Another movement system thing that I've added is if you slide down ramps, you gain speed, like that. So I'll show you how you can create that now. You don't have to watch all of the video, but I do recommend you watch the bit where I go on about connections, as well as the bit where I explain Humanoid.MoveDirection. So I'm in a new place, and I'll show you how you can add the model, which I'll leave in the description, into your own game. So you want to grab the model and insert it into your workspace. I'm just going to drag it here. And inside of the model, you'll see a local script, a module script, and two models as well as a union. You don't really need these four, but you will need the local script. For this to function, you will need to put it inside of starter character scripts. Once you've done that, to make the animations work, you have to get this plugin called Animation Spoofer. I'll leave a link for it in the description. Next, you want to open your Properties tab. If you don't have it open, you want to go to your View and click on Properties to make sure it's open like that. After you've done that, you want to go into the animations folder inside of the local script, and you'll see different animation game objects. If you click on one, you'll see on your Properties tab, you'll see Animation ID. If you double click on the numbers, it'll highlight the numbers, and you need to copy that. You can paste it into this box here, press Convert, press Save, copy the ID, and then replace these numbers with the new ID. You just need to do that for every single animation here, but since these are all mine, they already work, so I won't do that. As this is quite a big tutorial, I will split it into two parts, one where I explain the crouch and sliding mechanism, as well as one where I explain the running. This will be the running one, which I explain. I'll go through the script hierarchy. So the script hierarchy has two folders, one parent local script and one child module script. It also has two descendant module scripts called crouch and run. You don't need any of these. You can delete the one which you don't choose to use. So if you don't want to use crouching or sliding in your game, you can delete the crouch script. However, if you don't want running in your game, you can delete the run script. However, you must keep the settings module script. If I go into the local script, you'll see that we have loads of models here, or we have loads of variables. These variables are standard within a local script that uses the character. Next, we just have references to both of these folders, so I can use them easier later. We also have these find first child functions. These basically return and check if these module scripts exist, because if they don't, then we won't be able to use them and it will return an error. If it returns the error, then this whole script will break. So this is just there so that we can avoid that from breaking. Next, we have to instantiate and return the module scripts. This is so we can actually use the module scripts. So here it checks if run module is not equal to nil. So if we do have a run module, it will return this. If it isn't equal to nil, so if it does exist, then we want to reference it inside of our run using require. The same is done with the crouch script. Next, we have the user input service. This allows us to grab and use the user's input. Next, we have input connection. This is just a connection so that we can disconnect it later, and it will also help with things like memory leaks and just overall efficiency. These booleans here are used for quality of life as well as timer and debounces. So inside of this local script, you have handle running, handle crouching, start input, restart input, UIS.input ended, get property change signal, move direction, floor material. I'll go over this handling input first. I feel like I didn't explain this well enough in the original take, so I'll explain it here with some editing magic. We store the entirety of user input service.input began into its own variable as a connection, thus being able to disconnect it and reconnect it later. But error dev, why would you want to disconnect it? Isn't it crucial for input? Yes, it is crucial for input. But keeping this for a long time can cause things like memory leaks, which I faced when I was first developing Crowned. If we disconnect this often, it'll tell Lua Garbage Cleaner that we don't want to use previous inputs anymore and can clean them up. So user input service.input began. We use this to check when the player as press down or held down a button. Inside of this we have handle running and handle crouching. I'll go over handle crouching in a separate video. So inside of handle running, what we have is we have to first check if run module exists. If it does, then we have to check if the player is actually pressing down the run keybind. You can adjust this inside of the settings module script right here. After that, we do run.startRun. So inside of the run module script, run.startRun, all it does is it checks if the player is currently running. If they aren't running, then we make them run. We load the animation for running using the humanoid's animator, and this play with passing in 0.5. This is the fade time so that it has a smooth fade from walking to running. Next, we set the humanoid's walk speed to the run speed. Next, this whole if statement is to check if the player is currently standing still. Alright, I also didn't explain what Humanoid.MoveDirection.magnitude thoroughly, so here I am once again using editing magic. The Humanoid.MoveDirection is a vector 3 which stores the direction the player is moving in. If they're standing still, the vector 3 will be 0, or at least something close to it. We use .magnitude to get the entire vector 3 as a single number, kind of representing the speed. Thus, we can check if the player's speed is 0. If it is, then we know that they're standing still, otherwise we know that they're moving. So, because they're standing still, using Humanoid.MoveDirection.magnitude, we do run.pauseRun. All this does is it stops the animation track from playing. We also set canSlide to false. I also have this debug mode setting inside of the settings, which you can enable here. Debug mode equals true or equals false, so that you guys can debug and customize the script easier. However, if the player is running, we want them to be able to slide. We also want the animation to be playing. So in run.resumeRun, we check if the animation track is currently playing. If it isn't playing, then we play the animation track. As well as this, we next then check if the crouch module exists. If it does, then we want to end the crouch. So crouch end, all it does is it sets is crouching to false and stops both the walk and idle animations. So that's handle running done. Next, we want to go inside of user input service.inputEnded. This if statement I'll cover in another video, but this on line 122, we check if the run module exists. If it does, then we want to check if the player has let go of the run bind, which I showed you how to edit inside of here, like that. If so, then we want to end the run. If we go into run.endRun, you'll see if the player is currently running, then we want them to stop running. We also set their humanoid walk speed to 16. By the time I've uploaded this video, this will be set to a setting inside of here, probably called base walk speed. We want to stop the animation from playing. Okay, so that's all to do with handling the input and actually making the player run. Now we have floor material and move direction. What floor material does is that it checks if the player is currently in the air. If they are in the air, then we want to play the jump animation. We also want them to not be able to slide, because you can't slide it in midair. If debug mode is on, we also want to print in air. Otherwise, we want the jump to stop, we want them to be able to slide again, and we print land if debug mode is enabled. This is all to do with being grounded and also jumping. So this is the current jump animation. Next here we have get property changed move direction. Here we check if the player is currently standing still or their move direction .magnitude is equal to 0. We also check if their run module is not equal to nil, so if the run module exists, and if run.isRunning is set to true, so if the player is currently running. We want to pause the run, and all pausing does is it stops the animation from playing. As you can see, animation track stop. Otherwise, we want to resume the run, which just plays the animation. Sorry if I sounded like a bit different today, because I do have a cold, so my nose is currently blocked. Sorry for that. And as well as that, we recently hit 900 subscribers. That is absolutely insane, and we're really close to 1,000. In fact, I never thought this channel would ever get near 1,000, and this is just a slight hobby that I was planning on doing. So I would like to say thank you for that. It means the world to me that people are actually watching my videos and people are getting stuff out of them. If you guys have any questions regarding Roblox Studio, please join the Discord. I would be happy to help. As well as that, there's quite a few other members in my Discord who I'm sure are also willing to help. So yeah, that's it for today's video. My name is Ericode. Thank you for watching.